You are a marathon runner, and I think you love running. So what is it about running that you love so much? What do you get out of it?
That's a good question.
Is it time to think?
It is time to think. I'm somebody who has never wore headphones while I run. A lot of people, I guess, needed that the motivation to get out and run. To me, I never wore them. I would go on 20-mile runs, and it was a good thinking time. And I enjoyed running with others, but almost as much or more enjoyed running by myself. Not that I didn't enjoy the company of others, but it was a time to be by myself. And it also, I think running shows, I'm at a point, I haven't been running as much right now since I've had my son and been busy. I'm not at the point running where I was 6 years ago, and I wish I was, and hopefully I'll be there again. But a lot of people say that they're not runners and they can't run. And I don't always believe that, because there's a hump to get over, and I'm below that hump right now. I'm having a hard time getting out and getting myself to run the way I know I used to be able to run. So I know that you can get over that hump because I've done it and I've been there. And so I think others who say they can't run, like, just push a little bit harder, and I think you can. I bet you'll be able to do it. And so it's just I love running. I mean, I love it. And I see people out there running now, and I get jealous because I'm not out there running. And some people think that's crazy, but, and I was at a point where weather conditions, it did not matter. It could be raining, snowing, windy, dry, hot, cold. I would go out and run. And I always felt good when I got done. Even if it was a short run or a long run, you just always feel good about the run, about yourself. And, you know, after you run a couple marathons, it's a huge accomplishment, and especially for people, I think, that didn't think they could run, and then you go out there, and when you finish a marathon, like, wow, guess what? You can do that.
No, but finding the time and making
Right.
the discipline, and having the discipline to do it, how was that for you?
Yeah, I ran a little bit as an undergraduate student, but not very much. I did a couple, I think, 5K races maybe. But when I was a graduate student living in Austin is when I really started to run a lot, and I would actually use that time to think about my project. And I would solve a lot. A lot of times I would go for a long run at lunchtime, and I remember I'd start at the UT campus and go down south to the river, run around the river, run back up to campus, and that's really, I used that time, like I said, mentally a lot, thinking about what I was working on, and I actually solved some of the issues that I was having and the equipment I was building and that type of thing for my project. My first marathon, I remember thinking, if I can run 11 miles by this date, and if I can run 18 miles by this date, then I should be able to run the 26 miles by this date. And I put that on a calendar, and I did it. And I got to the point where I was running that, and I don't remember what my long run was before the marathon, but I may have only gone to 18 miles, but I figured at 18 I should be able to do another 8. And then after that, after doing the first marathon, you kind of get hooked on it, I think, and then, yeah. But I think the time, I used it as my time of thinking a lot when I would run.
I'm always just thinking about how bad I feel, you know? Well, I mean, seriously, I actually like to run too, but I have to.
Yeah, there are runs where I have not been happy, and I just want to quit. And especially marathons, where around mile 21, so you just want to stop. But then when you finish, it just feels really good, and within an hour, when should I do my next marathon? You can have completely forgotten about that 1 hour period of time or half-hour period of time, whatever it was, where you just want to stop and sit down and do nothing else. But then you realize, well, I guess I was able to push through it because I finished.
How do you get through it?
A lot of it for me, I think, is I just don't want to be a quitter. You know, and I know I could do it. And there were times, I think I've done 9 marathons and only 2 where I didn't walk at least some portion of it. And you know, you come to the water stations and you walk for a little while, and then you start shuffling along again. You just find a way to push through it. And I think that happens in a lot of things. You just find your way to push through it.